Well, good morning. This is Dave, N9 VFR, and if you look behind me, you would see Fort Jefferson, which is on the Dry Tortugas National Park. And wow, what a fort it is. This place is just massive. It is on the Dry Tortugas National Park, the least visited park in the entire U.S. National Park system, and there's a good reason for that. They allow very few people out here, and if you're going to camp, it's by permit, and permits are very difficult to come by. This is the sign you have to get a selfie of right behind me. Yes, I do have the selfie. Actually, some other people took it for us. We're here with a group of, I think, about 13 other people, give or take. A good friend Molly set this up. She got us reservations, and that was not easy. It was not easy. So Molly has set it up. She's taken great care of us. I'm looking directly into the sunrise at the moment, so forgive me if it's a little bit bright. I'll make my way in a moment to some shade. It should be a little better. Some of our crew members are going over here. John, Jason, Diane. You might be able to see them. John, Jason, Diane, say wave, say hi. Hold on just a moment. I'll be right back. Well, I had a little break there. Occasionally we get a little bit silly on the island, and we're here for ham radio, Parks on the Air, and there are now 3 stations running. It's the most we've had. Most of the time it's been 2, and sometimes with those 3 stations there's not very much going on, so we do have to entertain ourselves, and that's what Jason is doing over there now. I heard Molly in the background. So we are again just trying to entertain ourselves, and we're actually having a ball. This is a lot of fun out here. We are 70 miles west of Key West, Florida, 70 miles west of Key West. At the moment I'm standing above the moat right by the entrance to the fort. I might go up to the fort. I'm not going to go beyond the entrance to the walls because I don't think it's actually open yet. So let me see, over my right shoulder back over here, maybe you can see the camp area. None of those tents that you see are actually ours. Ours are behind there in the trees, shaded and protected from the wind. The wind is a big issue. These trade winds blow. I'm going to turn this around a little bit, and if you can see how thick the walls are to this fort, they are, I don't know how many feet that is, and it's beyond amazing. I'm kind of thinking this fort is like the pyramids in Egypt. How all this material got here, none of it is natural to the Dry Tortugas. For example, I'm gonna get in, hopefully it's doing okay. For example, this is granite here, these entranceway, and my goodness, everything is here for a reason, for defensive purpose or for living purposes. And it is indeed quite a facility. And it was built in the mid to late 1800s, so it's 150 years old, and indeed an incredible facility. Well, I'm going to come on later. I'm going to click off here very shortly, return, and I'll have our group probably doing some silly stuff. I'll tell you where I'm going to go right now. I think I'm going to go to our radio operating position, which is, I don't know, at least a quarter mile from our camping site. We're up on the northeast part of the island is where we are operating our radios from. And currently there are 3 of them operating. So I'm going to shut us off now. Back momentarily. This is Dave, N9 VFR from the Dry Tortugas National Park. And after about a 300-yard walk from the entrance to the fort, I am back. We've got Ron over here. Ron, what are you? You're working CW.
I am working CW, yes, 20-meter CW. Yep.
I hope you're doing better than I did on FT8.
Well, I've got one contact in 10 minutes.
Well, okay, you're doing better than I did.
It's fun, though.
Casey, what you're...
Jared, my name is Casey, KJ0NES, and I am operating on 40 meters, and I am apparently the only person awake at this hour of the day.
Yeah. Well, continue. Here's Scott. Scott with Molly.
This is my first FT8 contacts. I've made 3. She is a wonderful tutorial master.
Yes, Molly is in charge of this whole group for her 2nd year in a row, and how she juggles 1,000 balls at one time and keeps them all under control. She has absolutely done it, and yeah, she's beyond impressive. Molly is, yeah, I'm more than impressed with Molly. Molly, thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to get my face in here with Molly. I think I'm in here. I don't know, just because I want to. So anyway, we are having a ball here. We've been pretty good about entertaining ourselves. We've got a fun group. This is the operating station. We've got CW going. We've got single sideband going, and a tutorial on.
Yeah, we've got all bands. CW, SSB, and bands tonight.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
These are contacts from before.
We've got modes going. 3 different modes.
All 3 modes.
Yes, cool. Yeah, somebody call. Would somebody please call? That was what my experience last night. Nobody called. Yeah, I was being friendly, but nobody called me anyway. So we're going outside of the tent. I'm going to try to keep. Let me see. Well, okay. Here we have one of the lifeblood of this whole operation, the solar chargers. A lot of battery power here. This is. Let me see. I'm not even sure which antenna this is. This. One of them behind the big buoy that was for some reason it's here. Another antenna back over there. So we have 3 antennas going at once. Matt is walking up. Say hello, Matt. Now that I've got the W3HQ is Matt. The operating tent once again.
When you're in between like this, you started at 1461.
Okay.
That's how I do it.
Okay.
Or you can go over with you.
Pulling back out. And there are a gazillion birds behind us. By the way, I'm going to slide back because Julius is coming. AK1 HT. AK1. Julius. Yes. Say hello, Julius. To
Good
whoever.
morning.
Julius is one of the people in charge and more than competent. Except I have to say this morning.
Did you say more incompetent?
I called him a dummy load earlier. So.
And it's appropriate
It
because
was at
I
the
am
moment.
a perfect match.
It was yeah. The 20 meter I found this morning, it was on FT4.
We got all 3 modes.
Oh,
Which didn't
yes.
matter. When I got to FT8, I got the exact same result, which
Okay.
was nothing.
So we'll try that again in a little bit and see what we get.
Anyway,
I forgot.
they're
Yeah,
working
it was
here.
split between FT8 and FT4. 'Cause,
Yes, there's-
FT4 is a POTA man's friend.
Anyway, nothing was working, so it didn't matter in the least. Okay. Julius, thank you very much for saying hello.
Absolutely. Just topping off batteries. And
Yes, Julius is in charge of the batteries, and he's an important dude. He's in charge of a whole bunch of things and handles them all as well. And I am walking almost underneath an antenna, trying to get in the shade a little bit. Different view of the fort. This is actually one of the park rangers pulled in here, doing some work back in this section over here. I think maybe this group was over here last year behind this fence, but could not be this year. So we are set up just right by it, and it's a really good location to set up. One thing that makes this so good is it's shaded from the wind. The wind is really a big issue out here. These trade winds blow, they've been 30 miles an hour to gusts over 40, and it's really been rugged. But today they're probably closer to 20 with really no gusts, so it's not too bad. This is actually, after the other winds, this is pretty decent. So again, there's the fort, another view of it. We will walk around inside it later, maybe. It doesn't open yet. Very soon, seaplanes will arrive. They come in pairs, and they have, it seems like, as many as 8 seats on each of them. Seems like 8 people disengage from both of them. Disengage may be the wrong word, but get off of the seaplanes. And they'll probably be out here 4 times today, bringing people and sometimes taking people back. So they'll be out here a handful of times. It's kind of cool to watch the seaplanes come and go. They are impressive. I always thought I would like to fly seaplanes because you can go anywhere, pull up on any beach, kind of Jimmy Buffett style, except maybe not the Jamaica version. And referring to the song Jamaica Mistaka by Jimmy Buffett, you'll have to listen to it. So anyway, the fort behind me, some brush right here, and I'm just gonna park this thing right now. I'll be on in a little bit. To you, it'll just seem like seconds. Back later. And hello again. I am now on the other side of the island, a swim beach. And if you're looking for a Caribbean kind of experience, this is the place you might get it. The sandy beach, pretty much a white sandy beach, as everything is around here. It goes back as far as the fort. I don't know, 100 yards or so behind me. Let me see, over my shoulder, maybe you can see it if you look real hard, is a lighthouse. I forget the name. Maybe that is Loggerhead Key, but I'm not even sure. We're on Garden Key at the moment, swinging around slowly, I hoped. Over here, there's a place we are really not supposed to go. That's, for one thing, that's the helipad. If somebody would need to be emergency evacuated, the helipad is right there for that individual. Swinging back around, and behind me is actually the restrooms, and I think my partner Mike was just there. The fort back over again over my right shoulder, maybe you can see it. Antennas, and they have various electronic equipment up there, and just beyond that is the quarters for the rangers who live here. But I'm gonna be quiet just a little bit, move down closer to the water, and let you see and let you listen. Well, sorry to interrupt this moment of solitude. That is a sound you just don't quite get tired of hearing, as well as a sight. Beautiful ocean down here. It's very calm today. It's the first time I've seen calm seas. We rode in here, I guess, on Thursday with some very rough seas, and there were people who were definitely filling their little bags somewhat over the side. The seas were rough. We had reports there were supposed to be 9-foot waves. We didn't see anything like that, maybe up to 5. But it was at times a rugged ride back out here on the Yankee Freedom, which is the ferry we brought out here. The Yankee Freedom brought us out, and tomorrow it will take most of us back home, a little more than half of us back home. So okay, let's listen and enjoy some solitude once again, and we'll be back in a little later. Well, hello again.
Okay, Kilo 4,
N9
Kilo
VFR
Charlie,
back.
call. You are about
I am
5 and 3,
operating
5 and 3 into
FT8
US
at the moment.
0023,
Brian,
Dry Tortugas National
WB9 QVR over here. I think he's on 20 meter single sideband. He's having a little fun over here too. He's been busy.
Okay, Kilo Zulu 4, Kilo Charlie, got it that time, and thank you for the 5-5. I appreciate the contact in 73. QRZ, November 4 Tango. Okay, the Kilo Charlie 3, go. Kilo Charlie 3, go again. Kilo Charlie 3, Lima Kilo Charlie, thanks for the call. You are about 5 and 2, 5 and 2 into US 0023, Dry Tortugas National Park. Okay, thank you for the 5-3.
Here's my FT8
thanks for the contact
going
in 73.
through what FT8 does. There's a whole lot of CQ calls with no answers. Things
Whiskey
might
2,
be getting a little
November
quiet.
Papa Tango, thanks for the call. You're
We're right
about 5 and
around,
4,
I guess,
5 and
11
4
or so,
into US
11 in the morning.
0023, Dry Tortugas National Park.
Over here, Jason. This is N8WXZ,
Whiskey 2,
who
November
is,
Papa
he's got
Tango, are you
various
still there?
things going on and almost always does, including, I think he's on 15 meter single sideband, but he's currently trying to contact the club call back home, K3IR, and coincidentally, they were the last station I logged just a minute or two ago.
5 and 7 into US 0023.
Kilo 3 India
Dry
Romeo,
Tortugas
Kilo 3
National
India
Park.
Romeo from November 8 Whiskey X-Ray Zulu QRZ.
All right, thanks for the 5-7 in Georgia. 7-3, thanks for the contact. QRZ, November 4 Tango.
Kilo 3 India Romeo, Kilo 3 India Romeo, November 8 Whiskey X-Ray Zulu QRZ.
Okay, the Whiskey 3, go.
And you might see the fort in the background, the Gulf behind that, beautiful blue-green water. It's actually quite calm today. It's a little bit warm in our tent. Little breeze, a lot of sun. We have not seen much of the sun here. We're kind of enjoying it. We're not freezing cold. We've been wearing coats, literally been wearing coats down here. We don't have to do that today. Swing you back around over here to watch Brian. All of us using the call N4T, November 4 Tango.
Thanks for the contact. QRZ, November 4 Tango. Okay, the park to park, go ahead. Okay, got Alpha Bravo 8 Alpha Sierra, thanks for the contact. You're about 5 and 3 into US 0023, Dry Tortugas National Park, QSL.
That's going to be all for right now. Later. We have a change of operators, a significant improvement in the change of operators. Dennis is in my seat. He is working FT8 10 meter at the moment. I just got out of that chair.
There's nothing happening this.
10 meter FT8's a pretty hot spot. It's I was staying pretty busy. John is going to take over. Where are you guys working, John and Diane?
We are going to tag team 20 meters voice.
All right, all right.
And I'd like to make a correction. These are all hot spots right now. It's about 85, 90 degrees.
You're right. It is warm inside that tent. The breeze doesn't reach there.
And do we have an extra set of headphones so we can add to that? So we've been using his headphones every day along with the Pro 7.
I don't need them, but I've got,
Well,
we need 2.
Well, here was what happened with these.
I've got an extra set. You can use mine.
Okay.
This is what happened with these. Maybe they're not okay. All right. I guess you're good.
Well, no, we need one more headset.
Dave, can you grab my headset set out there?
All right. All right.
Put my
all
book
right.
in the.
I'm going to turn this off and return in a bit.
It's on the outside.
Well, let's do a little postscript on the Dry Tortugas trip. I just returned home actually yesterday, although it's been a week and a half since I was on the Dry Tortugas. Just returned home yesterday. Late afternoon, early evening. This is Thursday. I don't know, whatever the day is, March something or other, whatever it is. First of all, Julius, AK9IT, total brain lock on your call sign. Totally impressed with Julius also. I've been around him twice. He's a sharp fella. And Julius, again, my apologies for messing up your call sign. Well, let me see. I've got a little bit of a list here that I am going to talk about. It's a very short one. Molly, what an amazing job you did getting everything set up to the Dry Tortugas. Just absolutely amazing. Beyond impressed with everything you did. It's a full year of preparation. Everything came together amazingly well. Yeah, there were a few glitches with such a complex operation. How could there not be? But Molly, you pulled everything together. If anybody wants to go to the Dry Tortugas to do something like what we did, Molly is the source. Wow, Molly. Do it through Molly because she'll have everything taken care of. For example, you cannot just walk onto the Dry Tortugas, turn on your radio, and start taking calls. There's a sign on the at the front by the entrance that says no amateurs and /ham radio allowed on the island. It's by permit only. Molly arranged all of that, and Molly is the source. So anyway, the way to do this is through Molly. She is the key, and wow, again, Molly, amazing. The weather in the Dry Tortugas after it's the morning, it stopped raining finally, and those who arrived on the Yankee Freedom were able to enjoy the day and the sight without rain. Unlike that morning, that were monsoon level rains. And whenever we got back to Key West that afternoon, there were reports of 2 feet of water running through the roads. There was so much rain. So that rain was not just on the Dry Tortugas. It was all the way to the east in Key West, and when we got there, they still had road closures from all the water. It's just too much rain for that. And the boat ride to the Dry Tortugas on the Yankee Freedom, it was a little bit crazy. There were a handful of the little white bags filled up. You got out there in the open ocean, and sometimes seas get kind of rough. We heard reports of 9 foot tall seas. We did not see anything even half that size. But on the way back, oh my goodness, it was so much rougher with that storm that we had just experienced. It was rough. And a whole lot of those little white bags were indeed filled. Very proud to say that I did not fill either going or coming. I used a bag neither way. I didn't see any of our group doing so, although I was kind of concerned about myself. It was a rough ride. There were times that big old Yankee Freedom seemed to be airborne. We'd hit something and come down with a big splash and a bang. And I knew the boat was bottoming out again. It was quite a ride. But anyway, we made it. Everybody survived. Everybody got off the boat safely. All of our stuff was just fine. And when I was early in February, I was planning a trip to Hamcation in Orlando, Florida. And had some emergency and bad family news. Brother-in-law, Larry, married to my wife's sister. He had been battling cancer for almost 10 years and nasty stuff. The cancer stayed a step ahead of them, and he finally put himself into hospice. And I think we all knew that it would not be a long hospice stay. So I had my wife flew down to the Austin, Texas area to see him and her in that situation. And I had a few things to take care of up here. It was a Wednesday morning, and I was flying down there. I was at the airport. My wife texted me that Larry had taken a turn for the worse and looked significantly worse, and to kind of be prepared. So I was thinking about what I was going to say to Larry. I admire people who have the right words in those situations. I am not one of them. Thinking about Larry, and turned the phone off, ready to get on the airplane, and it turned out that it was icy that day in St. Louis, and the airplane had to get in a little line to be de-iced. So I turned the phone on again and received the news that Larry had passed. Indeed, the hospice was a short stay, and I did not get to say goodbye to Larry. We took a couple of vacations with Larry and Sherry and some others, family, the last few years. The first of which was Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. And while we were there, it just happened to be when a whole bunch of baby turtles, sea turtles, were hatching, and they were making their way from where they were nested probably 30 feet or so from the water line. They were making their way in a line from that spot down to the ocean. And at first, whenever there were no people there, birds were literally attacking these little turtles, and not very many of them were getting past the birds to the ocean. And then, of course, people would show up, and the turtles were helped along, maybe somewhat not the way it's supposed to work. Some even picked up the turtles and put them into the ocean, and it's not supposed to be done that way. Others kind of gave them grooved out a little trail for them to get in the sand so they could get down, and almost all of the turtles then made it to the ocean. And then a couple years later, we, Larry, Sherry, Cindy, and I, my wife, we went to Maui in Hawaii, and Larry, Sherry, Cindy, and I, we were on a beach one day, just kind of doing what you do on a beach, and we happened to look over to one side, and 30 feet away from us, maybe, a great big sea turtle had just crawled up onto the beach, and it was just laying there. Nobody even saw this turtle crawl up on the beach, and all of a sudden there it was, and it's this amazing, great big sea turtle just crawled up next to us, and it was amazing to see. And then I was on the Dry Tortugas, and as you might know, Tortugas translates as turtles, so we were on basically Turtle Island after being with Larry and Sherry, with the baby sea turtles, and then the fully grown adult, very, very large sea turtle. And now I'm on the Dry Tortugas, and anyway, thinking of Larry, although I had a wonderful time, I was thinking of Larry the whole time. So the shirt I bought on the Dry Tortugas, really the only thing I bought while there in the gift shop, was a t-shirt with a sea turtle. So I had to do that. So Larry, I didn't get to tell you goodbye, and I'm very sorry for that. And you're still very much in my mind, will be for quite some time. So that's going to be all of the spoken part for now. Dave, N9VFR, wishing you all well, and until next time. And I am back, currently inside the fort, not too far from the front entrance. Didn't really want to spend too much time with this video inside the park, because there are so many other YouTube videos that you can see and learn a whole lot more. I just want to show you, for the purposes of this, just how big this place is. And there's a lot of acreage in here. I don't know how big this thing is. I don't know. I don't want to give you diameters because I would definitely be wrong. But it is quite a large facility. I said earlier, it's kind of like building the pyramids. I will say, maybe you can see up there behind me, the lighthouse. It is not an active lighthouse. Maybe you can hear in the background, the seaplane is just about to leave. They come in pairs. That one will leave in a couple more minutes. Another one will make its way to the little runway area they have. Of course, it is in the water. They take off and land. There's kicking it down. You won't be able to see it. They get in the air bound just a little bit in the air, make a right turn, kind of go around the island that way. Once in a while I have seen them kind of loop around the fort, but typically they don't. They just head back. But whenever they come in, they do kind of loop around the fort, and I think for the real purpose of that is so that they can land into the wind. Those guys don't use very much runway at all, and I say runway, but it's ocean. They are in the air quickly. Okay, it's going to be it from now, from inside the fort. Go check out some other YouTube videos about this place. It's a fascinating place. And I am inside the visitor center. I wanted to show these cannonballs that were fired out of here from the cannons above. And what they do with those cannonballs is they send them through a heater. So they are what you call hot shots. And that's no doubt where the term came from, the hot shot. So what they're supposed to do when they hit a ship, a wooden ship, the enemy ship, they catch that ship on fire. Those superheated cannonballs, I'll go give you another look at them. So they're quite devastating to the enemy wooden ships. See if I can give you just a little more of a prolonged look. Hi there. So they hit a wooden ship, very hot. That ship is very likely going to be on fire and can do a lot of damage, obviously. So, okay, this is the visitor center. By the way, over my left shoulder is if you were getting your parks pass stamped. That would happen right there, your passport. Nobody here at the moment. Somebody in the other room, but not right here. That's where you get it stamped. Okay, bye once again for now. And I am back for just a moment. And yes, I have changed hats. This is the sun protection hat, kind of necessary. Show you my tent. This is my little living quarters setup right there. My tent is done quite well. Next to it here, this is the 27-gallon tote. Everything I brought had to fit in that or a backpack. The tote or the backpack, or it didn't come. And both of them had to go through some kind of an inspection. I'm not sure what was not supposed to come over here. Whatever it was, apparently I was fine. Having said that, Molly brought a whole lot of stuff. She brought so much stuff that the boat she had contracted looked at it at the dock and said, no, I cannot fit all of that on this boat. The boat captain assumed that the weight she was talking about would be in fish and not in totes and various like I said, I'm going to show you some of what she has here. I'll show you most. And here's the gang kind of hanging out. This is the tent area. Dangerous gang of characters. These totes, there's Molly is working hard on her blogging maybe. Totes everywhere. Water supplies, tables. There is Molly and her teepee. She is hard at work. Her teepee is full of supplies. She is using supplies for a table. There are supplies here. There are supplies everywhere. They all had to come on a boat with Molly. Some of the stuff didn't make it. For example, there were some steaks and some other things that were left in a trailer back at the campground in Key West. They're on ice again, so they're going to be safe, but they didn't make it here. The point is that more stuff was supposed to come that did not. Molly, I'm sure those steaks will be good when you get back. Okay, that's this time. I'm going to shut it down once again. Talk to you guys probably in seconds. And despite the last video of the seaplane taking off, that is not how we arrived, and it is not how we will depart. I am still on the Dry Tortugas. It is Monday, February 24th, 2025. And if you listen, you can probably hear the rain hitting my tent, my little Coleman two-person tent that has just done great. The winds here, the trade winds that have been blowing for millennia, continue to do so, and I've got a pretty good camping spot actually. It's for the most part sheltered from the wind, unlike others. And I got the last choice of the way it worked out on camping spots, and this one turned out to be a great spot. So anyway, we will leave today on the Yankee Freedom Ferry. There are a whole bunch of videos on the Yankee Freedom you can watch, and I suggest you do so. It's a twin-hulled catamaran. I don't know how many people that ferry holds. It's the only ferry that comes out here to the Dry Tortugas. It's, I don't know, it's maybe 7:30 in the morning right now. That ferry, we're supposed to be have our gear on the dock at 10 a.m. although we won't leave until something like 2:45 this afternoon. So I'll have a little extra time. Hopefully the rain has stopped by then. We'll find out. I've got my gear pretty much here packed up behind me, some of it outside in that tote. For the time being, I am staying inside my tent, warm, dry, and wishing that I could be out there. Our radio gear was pulled down yesterday evening. We were able to get reports of some weather coming in today, and we understand there is worse weather tomorrow because a handful of others will leave then. But I leave today. I need to be having my gear all ready to load up, which means I've got to take this tent down and probably get out in the rain and do that. That's okay. I guess in every Parks on the Air de-expedition, a little rain must fall, and it is doing just that. So, I hope to have at least one more video on our way out. This has been a really, really good trip. So very glad I came. Can't say enough about Molly, good things about Molly, and the whole crew has just been wonderful. We've had a ball, and I'm going to say 73, probably until just a few moments. This is Dave, N9, VFR.